Hello, and welcome back to the Fae Banner Review, where we talk about a theme that refuses to let go of the past. They sure love their dragon units, and by golly, they're going to let you know about it every single year. Today, we have a brand new Halloween banner that may seem like a return to everyone's favorite dragon-only theming, but if you look real closely, it also includes beasts. And not just dragons and beasts, but also everything in between, which would be more dragons and beasts. And as per tradition, I will be using this coveted line graph that may or may not be a line graph at the end of the day to rank the brand new Halloween banner. Today's ranking will be based on how many paragraphs the longest PRF and PRF skill, if applicable, have combined on a single unit, with the highest total only applying. And if you subscribe to the channel right now, I won't write a bunch of Fire Emblem Heroes PRF length replies under your comments.
I agree.
First up, there's Asar, and he's dressed up as... I actually don't know what he's dressed up as. I guess this was one of the more expected alts since we got Emblem earlier this year. And you know we can't have the Book 6 bat without the Book 6 bowl. And you know what they say about bowls. I actually don't know what they say about bowls, but I know what I'm going to say about it. You can't have a bowl without some goddamn bullshit. It's funny because both words incorporate the word bowl. Anyway, let's see. His weapon has slaying, stats, true stats, stats but less on the foe, more true stats, full tempo, bulwark, and breath of life 4. Yep, that sure is a weapon that would release 8 years into the game. Yep, sure is indeed. Yes, sir. Yep, I totally think so too.
I agree.
It seems nice. I don't really have any other commentary to add. I just think it's a nice weapon. I like how they threw in the most broken C slot in the game into his weapon, because his C slot is currently occupied by a second PRF skill. So it's only fair that they beef up his weapon more. Am I right, or am I gonna jump off a bridge? And speaking of which, there's also Connected World, which is his upgraded C slot, which is another skill in a list of skills with more text than most PRFs in the game. It allows him to transform much more easily. It grants stats, more stats, bonus stats, true stats, times +4 to himself and allies, as well as damage reduction piercing. The only caveat is that most of those support effects don't work in Summoner Duels, but I say that as if most people play Summoner Duels and definitely don't hate the mode at all. It's funny because most people hate Summoner Duels. Hi, post-editing Z here. It turns out it does work in Summoner Duels, but I couldn't think of a better bit to put in place of it, so I'm going to keep it as is. Let me know if you could think of better jokes to put in place of it in the comment section below after you subscribed. Thank you. He also comes with a brand new Beast Special and Sturdy Beast, which is basically just Dragon's War, but for Beasts, and uses the defense stat instead of the res stat. Sometimes I think about how they have those bouncing exclamation points going, "Whoa, look at the brand new skill! It's brand new and you can inherit it!" And then when you do inherit it to your beast unit, they go from total dog shit to bullshit. Except they're still bad. I could have said a different word, but Asar's a bull, so I wanted to say bull, because you get it? Bull? You get it? 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 I think being a beast unit is just inherently bad because of the arbitrary restrictions they end up with half the time. Asar himself is really good and doesn't really have to worry about many of the woes that comes with being a beast unit in Fae, but for the majority, I think being in an archetype that just inherently restricts the amount of skills a unit can get for an additional inconsistent effect isn't the most ideal. It's funny because the original Asar comes with Ideal. Next there's Lethe, and if you couldn't tell what the cat character is dressed up as based on her cat-like hoodie, cat-themed lollipop, and cat paws, I couldn't tell you. She's a beast cav, which is really cool. I guess I don't have much else to add to that. At least being a beast means she's guaranteed a PRF, which is more than I could say for most units.
Stupid.
Let's see. Her weapon has slaying, stats, more stats, reduced stats, null follow-up, null guard, null damage reduction on specials. There's a lot of nulls in here, aren't there? And times +4. It seems decent. It's kind of basic, but it looks like it'll do the job, and that's about what I expect from the demote of the banner. Wait, demote? Did I skip a unit or something? I guess not. I'm surprised they're showing the demote second, because usually they show that off third in every trailer. Maybe it was just some editing error, because I don't see why else they'd show her next. we actually got tier 4 saves. I don't know how to feel about this. Both save skills still retain the same range and stats, but now allow specials such as Armored Beacon to give out damage reduction 2 times per combat, and it restores HP after combat. I guess the saving grace here is that it doesn't work with Ike's engage effect, and it still scores 300 SP, so it's not like you're going to need to replace save 3 on many of your units for scoring anytime soon. Also, I'm not sure if it's going to be any better than just running Shield Fighter for most armors at least, but it's not like you can use Aegis and Pavis in Arena without dumping your score. Plus, it gives extra life to armored skills, so that's nice enough, I guess. Also, Na exists, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, so save 4 stuff aside, Na seems kind of good. Her weapon has slaying, adaptive, stats but less on the foe, true stats, more stats, scowl stats, quicken pulse to all allies with less HP than her, and times pulse 4. The stat condition is like the funniest thing in the world, because usually you have some really easy condition as is, with being above 25% HP, or near a bunch of allies, but not only does Na have the latter, it also gives her the maximum amount if she just procs Savior, which is as guaranteed as you could get without being Saros, who just has an unconditional weapon at base. Although most conditions may as well be free, since Ias doesn't really care either way, clearly.
No treat for you!
A waste of my time.
Ooh.
It's funny they show her in the trailer walling Brave Felix because they're trying to sell the idea that Na is this "nah, I'd win" unit, and I definitely believe she can tank really well, even against Brave Felix. But imagine if that Brave Felix waltz up with no follow-up in this kit and suddenly that "nah, I'd win" unit turned into "nah, I'd shit the fucking bed," at least in terms of firepower, because he's fairly tanky for a player phase unit, but definitely lacks the protection on a follow-up attack. Although outsourcing full no follow-up is getting harder nowadays since most people use guidance skills and don't really want to use the Sacred Seal since people value the stats more. Still, she seems to be a good enough tank, so I guess that's what matters in the end.
I've got this!
And you saw earlier, but the last unit we do have is Nagi and Edun, and god damn, ooh! Oh my goodness gracious! I actually don't know what they're dressed up as. You know, it's expected that a lot of duos and harmonics get a bit of extra effects, but it's a bit much here, I think. They have slaying, dragon effectiveness, they're immune to armor effective weapons, they have adaptive damage, AoE damage reduction, triangle advantage against colorless units, stats, true stats, healing after combat, ally support that gives them stats and healing after combat, times pulse 4, and a button that grants more stats, additional more stats, immunity to dragon effective weapons, anti-warping support, penalty neutralization, and heals 30 HP to herself and allies. I don't even have a dumb cutoff clip to express my feelings with this. The funny thing about this unit is that they basically combined the best of both worlds with Edun and Nagi into one unit, and despite that, I think Dual Fiorm might be the stronger far save. Yeah, Nagi may have like 17 effects and can run Scowl on top of everything she comes with, but Fiorm also has dual Ice Mirrors and Null Counter Disrupt and Ice Terrain and actually, I think they're both kind of bullshit. I didn't talk about it earlier with Na, but both of them come with Dragon Scales, which is a brand new dragon inheritable. You probably knew that based off the name, though. It has a guaranteed follow-up attack, special jumps, damage reduction piercing, and it inflicts up to -11 attack defense res on the foe. Yeah, it's okay. It's probably okay on a bunch of dragons, but I doubt the units that come with this skill even want it themselves given their armored status. Armor's like Hardy Fighter and Shield Fighter and basically nothing else because free thinking is in fact a myth. But hey, it's more stuff for dragons to mess around with and it has over 30 stats baked into it, so it can't be that bad, right? Well, it might be. We're also getting Yarn again as the Freebie Tempest Trials unit, and sure, his weapon is good and he has decent pre-fodder, but I don't really care enough TBH, 2BH, 2BQH. Wily Fighter Sacred Seal, on the other hand, a fighter skill that neutralizes the foe's bonuses during combat with all these recent armored buffs. And now that we've gone over the brand new Halloween units, I think it's time to rank the banner on the line graph. That may or may not be a line graph at the end of the day. And would you look at that? The brand new Halloween banner has earned a 9 out of 10 on the line graph. What a fantastic showing for a banner that makes me question how far off the deep end power creep has gone. A question that I, nor anyone else, will answer because the vagueness of it all is funnier than anything else that may come out of this entire banner. And some of you may be asking to yourself, is this banner worth polling on? And there's a number of answers I can give to you that question, but for the sake of discussion, I will be only giving one answer. I don't know. It's not as if any of these units are bad per se. The support units are good and Lethe has nice demote skills, but you can definitely live without them. And if you're looking for a really strong armor and armor related skills, then Ice Tribe Fjorm is definitely the unit you should be summoning for instead. But I don't think I should be encouraging people to summon for Fjorm and Shield Fighter because that means I'll end up running into more of it. So don't summon for Fjorm actually. Fjorm is bad.
I agree.